Welcome back to Second and Short. It is Friday, December 1st, 2023. The holidays we're kind of in the midst of the holidays. I was going to say they're around the corner. Thanksgiving just happened. I feel like that's the start of the holidays. But Hanukkah starting up in just over a week. Christmas right around the corner, a couple of weeks away. And it's officially December. I think now is the appropriate time. Christmas music, put up the tree, all of that. That's how I am personally. But yeah, it's the holiday season, and we're here to give you a gift. And it's everything that's happened this week and everything that's happening this weekend. And we're going to continue to give that gift over and over and over again, week by week. But the biggest gift that we're giving you today is that Luke has a new camera. He is no longer grainy. He is no longer out of sync with what he's saying. All of that is out the window. And his camera's way better than mine.
You think so?
Yeah, you look insane. Like it's high quality, man. It is crazy.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm glad I could bring it to you guys, but yeah, this is just the first of many gifts this holiday season.
Fantastic. Not much of a gift, but there is a warrant out for Von Miller's arrest right now. Ryan Shazier cheated on his wife, apparently. There's a whole bunch of madness going down in the world of sports right now. We're not really going to get in depth on those two situations, but that's just, two of the big things going on. But outside of that, we're talking NFL Week 13 preview. We're talking 2023's top 5 first basemen. Then we're going to get into the Premier League weekend, the UCL Matchday 5 recap. A lot of teams qualified for the knockout stage. A lot of teams definitely not qualifying for the knockout stage. And then we'll round it out with questions time. Luke, anything before we get into NFL Week 13?
I'm just excited to give our top 5 list, man.
Yeah,
First
positional
baseman.
rankings have become a very fun thing on this podcast.
Yeah, they have. But yeah, we get to get into our top 5 first baseman. I'm excited about that. Match day 5, we got to talk about Galatasaray versus Manchester United. That was insane. Yeah, couldn't have been more wrong about Onana, but yeah, I'm just ready to jump into it. It's gonna be exciting.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll start in the NFL, where there's a bunch of games going on. Not quite as many as last week because we've got 6 teams on bye, but NFL Week 13 starts off with Colts versus Titans. A stinker. This is a horrible matchup.
Yeah, both teams coming off of a win, though. Indianapolis, a tough win over Tampa, and the Titans shouldn't have been, but a tough win over the Panthers. Yeah, I mean, this game is just going to suck.
It is. This is one of those games where neither team has the ability to dominate.
Yeah.
There is a world where the Colts just kind of run away with this because the Titans really just are not good. But, I don't see the Titans just getting left in the dust by this Colts offense. I don't think that's going to be the case. It's either going to be super high scoring or super low scoring, and either way, it's going to be very close.
Yeah, but, I mean, great running back matchup, though. Especially with Derrick Henry coming off of a much better game against the Panthers. He finished with 18 carries, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns, which was, like I said, a lot better than what he's been the past couple weeks. And then Jonathan Taylor, also coming off of a 2-touchdown game, except 91 yards and less carries. So that's going to be probably the most fun thing about this game.
Yeah.
And that's really all I have to say. I'm taking the Colts 17-6.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Colts as well. I'm going to take them 23-20. Weird final score, but that's how I'm going. But the next game, also not a great one. Possibly worse. Chargers versus Patriots. The Chargers are just I don't even know what to call them right now. They've lost their last 3. Granted, teams other than the Packers loss, losing to the Lions, losing to the Ravens, probably expected. Packers loss was tough, and it made them look really bad. The Ravens, though, just made them look useless. This offense was entirely dead. Herbert only passed for 217. Austin Eckler still sucks. 10 carries, 32 yards. Luckily, they had Keenan Allen do something, but overall, just a horrible showing by the Chargers. And honestly, like, they're lucky they're coming up against the Patriots right now.
Yeah, and I think after this game, I'm kind of in a weird boat with Justin Herbert at the moment. Definitely their franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
You don't get rid of this guy. He's solid. I just feel like he always ends up on my feed, like doing something cool, or people are hyping him up, and I don't get it anymore. There have been so many games this season that have come down to him, and there was a ESPN was talking about it or something like that, and he made the point where like some of their losses have come down to Herbert, and he hasn't even been good enough to like make it come down to anybody else. Like they haven't missed like any field goals to try to tie the game, and last second opportunities. It just always comes down to like a 3 and out from Herbert, I feel like. And yeah, so like I said, pump the brakes on Herbert, but he's definitely your franchise quarterback. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about him anymore.
Yeah, like I still think he's a great quarterback. I think he's probably a top 10 quarterback right now. But like the guys around him certainly aren't helping. The offensive line definitely isn't helping. The fact that Austin Eckler is entirely useless in the run game doesn't help at all. Because like when Justin Herbert has been successful, it's when Austin Eckler can run the ball, or anybody can run the ball for that matter on that team. But that's just how most quarterbacks are. Like, Justin Herbert's not the best quarterback in the league. I don't think he has the ability to just make things happen regardless of the situation. I think he's also just young, and that kind of comes with it. But like the quarterbacks that we talk about at the top have the ability to make the game about them, and I don't think Herbert does.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like the game plan runs through other guys. The game plan doesn't necessarily run through Justin Herbert. It just is forced into him.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I mean, maybe with a couple years now, you would expect that it would come to him.
Maybe, and
he
that could
would
also
make it
come down to
him.
coaching. Brandon Staley, I still
Yeah,
think
that is true.
the root of all of their issues. So I'm definitely gonna.
Yeah.
I would die on that hill. But for the Patriots, like, what is there to talk about, dude? Mac Jones sucks. Bailey Zappi's probably gonna get a couple drives out in this game. Ramondre Stevenson might do something.
He's had a couple good weeks.
Yeah.
The past couple weeks. A couple good weeks the past couple weeks. Nice.
Yeah, he's been the silver lining to what has been some atrocious football by the Patriots.
Yeah. My favorite quote to come out of the Giants and Patriots game was Jabril Peppers walked up to Saquon Barkley after the game and said, "You lucky we ass."
Yeah.
So it's crazy that players that are coached by Bill Belichick are saying that.
It is, and it's just crazy
Honestly.
to see a Bill Belichick coach team be 2-9.
Yeah, I mean it's horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
I'm starting to think Belichick's just done after this year.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it would kind of be cool to see him go back to the playoffs, but I honestly don't even know if he has enough time.
Yeah, I think just in general, like, it's going to take some years. Now, this franchise is in a bad spot right now, or at least just the team. The franchise is fine, but the team itself, like the players they have, obviously injuries hurt, but like injuries don't hurt your starting quarterback that hasn't gotten hurt, and your running back duo that has well underperformed the expectation. Of course, Kendrick Bourne goes out, for the rest of the season with the ACL injury, but there's other guys on that team that can catch passes. On the defensive side, there's guys with, a pretty high standard for how they play. Once again, Matthew Judon's been out. That's a big thing, but, it just doesn't seem like anything was coming together even when these guys were all on the field.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I mean, even looking at the quarterback play, more specifically, like the fact that their second string is guaranteed to throw like around 15 passes a game is horrible. Like they don't even have a starting quarterback right now. They I don't even know what they do. Do they let Matt go until it gets bad, or do they have Bailey Zappi come in every second half? of the game. I don't understand.
They
Um,
put like a cap on max interceptions, and as soon as he hits 2, they bring in Zappy, and then Zappy throws 1, and then they bring Mac back in the game.
oh God, dude, it's
It's bad, dude. They're dysfunctional at the
horrible.
moment. But let's get a final score prediction. I'm gonna go Chargers 24, Patriots 7.
I'm gonna go 21-7 Chargers.
Okay. Next game though might be pretty good. Lions Saints, and
Ooh,
typically I'd say that the Lions would just stomp the Saints, and I'm not. This isn't even about the Saints playing good football right now because they're not. They just lost to the Falcons, and they only scored field goals. But my thing's with Jared Goff. Like, are the turnovers a problem, or was it just 2 bad weeks in a row?
I don't know. I think it was 2 bad weeks in a row, but Jared Goff turning the ball over is it kind of like found the blueprint, I think, for the Lions, like their wins. If Jared Goff doesn't turn the ball over, they probably are going to win the game.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, and with what you've pointed out, like, yeah, the turnovers have been a problem. Do I think it's something that's going to persist though? Like, absolutely not. Jared Goff's a professional; he'll figure it out. And yeah, I mean, now it doesn't really help you, but like, I guess as a viewer, we can see that if Jared Goff doesn't turn the ball over, the Lions will probably win the game.
Yeah, for sure. But with the Saints, like this offense is just kind of always primed to just, explode. It just seems like they have it. Like obviously last week you had Chris Olave go leave the game with a concussion. I think he's already cleared protocol and he's limited in practice this week. Yeah, it looks like yeah, he had a limited practice on Wednesday. So that's good news. But Marshawn Lattimore now goes to the IR. That really hurts that defense. And then,
Oh
of
yeah.
course, Michael Thomas has been on the IR for about a week now. It's not great right now for the Saints, but they still have guys on the offense that can do stuff. Like Derek Carr can have a good game. Alvin Kamara, of course, has the ability to go off any week he wants. So we'll have to see. I think good game doesn't mean the Saints are gonna look like they're gonna win at any point, but it could just be kind of close.
Yeah, I don't know. This Saints team is kind of weird because I actually watched the Falcons Saints game on Sunday, and the Saints were, I mean, they were able to move the ball. Like, kind of just looking at the box score here, like they had players that did really well. Alvin Kamara had a good game. Derek Carr had a good game minus the pick, and Chris Olave was tearing them up before he got taken out of the third quarter. But yeah, they just weren't able to get into the end zone, and then that Jesse Bates pick six was ridiculous. On top of the fact that he had like 12 total tackles as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, ridiculous game for Jesse Bates. Yeah, I mean, the Saints aren't going to win this game. I'm just kind of talking about how well they played against the Falcons. I'm going to take Detroit 24 17.
Oh, okay. I was thinking something a little more high scoring. I'm gonna go Detroit 31, Saints 21. All right, next game. Falcons, Jets. And okay, preface. Obviously, the Jets suck. But the defense is still concerning to me. Considering Desmond Ritter is our quarterback. I have to bring that
It's
up.
the return.
Yeah. And we suck on the road this year. It is bad. 1-4 on the road. And in that horrible stadium, there's no telling who's going to get a career-ending injury on that ground. So, yeah, I don't know. Like,
Maybe
I think we're going to win, but like, it's going to be a sloppy one. And like, it just comes down to like the Falcons' defense just getting the Jets' offense off the field quickly and just forcing that Jets defense to just have to give up points, essentially.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there were definitely points in the Saints game where Desmond Ritter looked fine, in my opinion. He
Yeah,
had a couple good passes. It's just, he's going against a much, much more serious defense this time. Yeah, I mean, is Tim Boyle quarterback for the Jets, or we got Zach Wilson?
we might have Trevor Simeon. I don't even know, dude. I really
Dang,
don't.
there's so many people hurt this year.
I think it's Tim Boyle
So many
still.
injuries.
Unfortunately, we
Okay,
have to
well,
watch that.
he played last week.
Yeah, he
Um,
sucked.
yeah, I don't know. I think the Falcons are going to win, especially if the Jets continue to just not run the football. And I don't know. I think with if the Jets pass the ball 38 times and they throw 2 picks against the Dolphins, I think we could see 1 or 2 picks against the Falcons. So I'm going to take Atlanta 17-13.
All right. I'm gonna take the Falcons 17-6. That's what I'm
Nice.
thinking. All right, next game, Cardinals Steelers. A historic
Ooh.
matchup. Um, a couple years ago, big game, but now not so good of a matchup. To be honest,
Not at all.
hey, Kenny Pickett, 2,000 yards this season on the dot.
Does he really have 2,000 yards?
Yep.
Wow. Um, well, I guess on the Steelers side, first game without Matt Canada. Kenny Pickett looked okay. I mean, still no touchdowns. He threw for almost 300 yards. We finally had a 400-yard game for the first time in like 50 something games. Najee looked good. Jalen Warren also looked good. Pat Fryermuth had a monster first game back or second game. I can't remember if he played last game, but Pat Fryermuth looked good. The defense looked good. And yeah, you would expect the Steelers to beat Jake Browning, but with the result the week before against Cleveland, I wasn't too sure what the hell was going to happen. Yeah, Cincinnati only rushed the ball 11 times. Kind of strange there. Only 25 yards rushing. And Jamar was pretty limited. Only 4 receptions, 81 yards. One of them was with the mouthpiece in. I mean, really couldn't make me hate him anymore.
Yeah.
than I already do. But yeah, that's kind of my rundown of the Steelers. I don't know how to feel yet. We had a much better game offensively. Like I said, Kenny Pickett almost 300 yards, 400 yards total offense, but still only 16 points. If they would have scored a touchdown kick to PAT, they would have won.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just more of like a morale thing right now. But I don't know how to feel about our offense just yet.
Yeah, I feel like with this Steelers team, like even though they have 7, like they're 7-4, I think they're just kind of taking their wins where they can take them. Like, get your win, get out of there. Like, maybe it's not going to be pretty, but I think they're going to take whatever they can get. This is a game where you could certainly get a win pretty. I'm not going to say easily because there's no telling what Kyler Murray can do, but I think just overall, like the Steelers have the upper hand significantly in this matchup.
Yeah, and just to throw some more Steelers stats at you that I've saved on my Instagram from over the week, there are 33 qualified quarterbacks this season, Grayson. Only one of them has committed fewer than 5 turnovers, and his name is Kenny Pickett. How about that?
Look at
that. He also set the franchise record for consecutive pass attempts without an interception against the Bengals as well. And then a little, kind of like a low-key shout-out, but Landon Roberts, that middle linebacker who we picked up from Miami in a free agency last year, he has a 14.4 run stop percentage this season. That's actually first in the NFL at middle linebacker.
Not bad.
Yeah, so just a couple of hot stats to throw at you. And then on the Cardinals side, their luck kind of finally ran out here. They hit just a massive brick wall, and that brick wall's name was Kyren Williams.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Was he invisible? Was he did he have oil on? They couldn't
Maybe.
stop the guy.
He could have had
They could
Vaseline
not
on.
stop the guy.
That could have been the case.
Little Adama Traore tactic right there.
Yeah. But yeah, look, the Cardinals are just like so bad. It's hard to like even put them in consideration to win a football game. And I know they've won 2 of them. It's better than the Panthers, but ooh, I don't know, man. Final score, I don't like this. Steelers 14, Cardinals 6.
I'm gonna go. Again, I'm gonna predict the Steelers to actually win 2 scores this time because I think the last time I did was against the Packers, maybe, and that ended up not being a 2-score game. So I'm gonna go Steelers 21, Arizona 10.
No. Steelers are
Dude, it's
not
just
scoring
3
21.
touchdowns. Come on, it's not
Yeah,
that. It's
it
not
is
that bad.
just 3 touchdowns. You should maybe tell your guys that. All right, next game though, Dolphins Commanders, and I think this game is going to be comically bad. Like the Dolphins are going to beat the shit out of the Commanders.
Dude, Sam Howell.
Yeah, he's going to throw more picks. Tied for the league lead with Josh Allen, 13.
Is he actually?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Well, um, yeah, they're the Commanders have just fallen off. Really.
it's bad.
I feel like you and I. Well, maybe not so much you, but definitely I was very high on the Commanders for a couple weeks there. But after Thanksgiving, I mean like that the way that the Cowboys played against the Commanders on Thanksgiving, I think I may have told you or some other people, but like that was like perfect football. Like that was you couldn't have played football any better,
Yeah.
defensively and offensively. It was fun to watch. Sam Howell still had a 300-yard game though.
Of course.
Against the Cowboys, as he always will do somehow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this game really, because I think that there's a slight chance that Sam Howell could keep up with the Dolphins, but that's like if everything goes right. And really, my only evidence to support that would be Sam Howell versus the Eagles.
Yeah,
but that's also a rivalry game.
True. Yeah, I don't. It's so hard to like trying to defend the Commanders at all here. Um, yeah, like there's not much to say. Like the Dolphins are just so much better offensively, defensively that the Commanders have no chance. I'm sure Sam Howell will throw like a long touchdown to somebody who probably shouldn't even be like getting targets, and then Jalen Ramsey will probably pick him off twice. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dolphins 28, Commanders 14.
Okay, I'm going to go Dolphins 35, Commanders 24.
Okay. Let's move on to the next game, the final game of the 1 o'clock slate, Broncos-Texans, and I love this matchup. Like this is the perfect time of the season for these two to match up. Both teams are 6-5. The Broncos have been squeezing out late wins left and right. The Texans did lose last week, but prior to that, some big clutch time wins over the Buccaneers and the Bengals. This is like a perfect time for these teams to match up. And not to mention you have like this veteran head coach, veteran quarterback versus rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, but they're both they find themselves in the same position. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that analogy there. I didn't really think of that whenever I saw this game. Russ is cooking, man.
He is.
He's finally settled in. I don't know if he's worth all the money that they gave him and then all the money that they extended to him, but he looks damn good. Just a winning quarterback is really the best way that I could put it for Russell Wilson these past couple weeks. And then on the other side, the Texans are just it is Broncos Texans, right? Not Jaguars?
Yeah, Broncos Texans.
That's what I thought. Okay. CJ Stroud finally had a week where he didn't throw a pick. I think he had picks the last couple games, but he had none this time. Yeah, I really don't know how this game can go. Same record. And like you said, they find themselves in very similar spots when they meet here. It's going to be a good one. Very underrated.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Texans just because the Broncos offense, like, it just seems like they make so many mistakes. And it's not even like turnover mistakes or like Russ making bad passes. It's like drops or like bad route running, not making the right decision in the backfield by the running back. It's like those kind of mistakes. And it really bothers me whenever I watch them. And like I know they've been able to squeeze some out. I just think the Texans are running such a great offense right now that they're just going to kind of run away from them early in the game, and it'll be too much for the Broncos to catch up. So I'm going to go Texans 28, Broncos 24.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm also going to ride with the Texans here, but it's all down if they can figure out the run game. Last week, they found themselves kind of down pretty early on in the game. And I guess they, fell into the trap of kind of letting CJ Stroud try to work his way back into the game. And, in doing that, they only gave Devin Singletary 6 carries and Damon Pierce 5 carries.
Yeah.
And they ended up rushing for more yards than Jacksonville did. Jacksonville rushed the ball 30 times for 81 yards. Houston ran it 18 times. I'm actually dyslexic. 18 times for 91 yards. So, they're averaging more yards per carry. They just got to get ahead early into the game, to be able to run the ball more. So I'm going to take Houston 24-17.
Okay. Let's get into the 4 o'clock slate. And we'll start off with the my waste of the 4 o'clock multi-view game of the week, Panthers-Buccaneers. This game stinks. The Buccaneers
Yeah, but the Buccaneers are going to kill them.
Are they really going to kill them, though? Because they cannot put up points. It doesn't matter who they're playing, unless it was the Texans somehow.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, little NFC South matchup here.
Yeah, that's how you know it's bad. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I hate this. Like, Mike Evans maybe has a good game. Chris Godwin maybe has a good game. Same for Rashad White. But there won't be 2. 2 people on the Bucs cannot have a good game at the same time. Maybe it's Kate Otton's week again. And then obviously 0 players on the Panthers will have a good week.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Rashad White's kind of my difference maker here. I don't know. I think the Buccaneers could actually kind of show out against the Panthers. I really do. I think they match up against them well. Just to go ahead and get this one out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and predict a score. Buccaneers 24, Panthers 10.
Okay. Buccaneers 20, Panthers 7. No, 6. 2 field goals.
Oh, okay.
Yep. 20-6. All right, next game. Browns-Rams. I think this one, sneaky good. Despite the injuries for the Browns. The Rams look so much better on offense with Kyren Williams back. Last week, he had a fucking barn burner. It was ridiculous how well he played against the Cardinals last week. It was 16 carries for 143 yards, and then he had 6 receptions for 61 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Like, you don't even need Cooper Kupp and Puka. You just need Kyren Williams and Matthew Stafford to link up. And Tyler Higbee, who scored 2 touchdowns in that game. But, this offense is awesome. But, on the other side, likely, the starting quarterback for the Browns is going to be notable elite quarterback Joe Flacco.
Oh, dude.
Got to watch out for Joe Flacco.
He's coming back to the AFC North.
Yeah, and he loves to just throw the ball downfield and draw a pass interference.
Oh, yeah.
He's so good at that. They never catch it. Never catch the ball. It's really, it's arguable if the balls are ever actually catchable. But he draws pass interferences so well. But DTR's in concussion protocol, didn't practice on Wednesday, so Flacco's been taking number 1 snaps. Got a feeling he'll start this game. Yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird is the best way to describe it. Like, the Browns' defense is great. So I'm sure they'll give the Rams a little bit of a fit there, but I see this one being like a hard-nosed, just running duel between these two teams. And I think it's going to be low scoring, but so fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just excited for Flacco, man. Coming back, suiting up for the Browns. It's kind of funny that I don't know. I just love the fact that he's in Cleveland. Out of anywhere,
Yeah.
I love the fact that he stayed in the AFC North because it brings me happiness to know that the Ravens might actually have to play him again.
That's true. It
Which
does.
would be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it felt wrong when he was wearing a Jets jersey.
Yeah, it did. And I mean, this is going to probably feel even more wrong, especially for me.
Oh,
but
yeah. Oh, yeah.
All so right at the same time.
The pictures of him at practice look fake. He doesn't look.
Haven't even seen a picture.
He doesn't look like a real person in a Browns jersey. He looks like
Joe Flacco, man.
They put his head on a guy in a Browns practice jersey.
He's dang that number 15. You got to give Flacco 12. Come on.
Yeah.
Flacco's always number 12.
Wait, who wears number 12? Doesn't Amari Cooper wear number 12 for them or something? Something like.
Is it? No, I think Amari Cooper is a single digit. I think he's like 9.
He could be.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know who. Oh, fuck. Now I got to figure this out.
Who is number 12 on the Browns?
Michael Woods II.
Oh.
Yeah. He definitely could have got 12. I think he knows his time there's limited, so it didn't really matter what number they gave him. But
it's true.
Score prediction for this game.
Damn. I'm gonna go 20-17 Cleveland.
Okay. I'm gonna go 20-17 Rams.
All right.
So if it's 20-17, one of us is right.
Yeah. One of us is right.
Yeah. But then again, when do we ever get these predictions? Not only just right by the team, I don't think we've ever gotten the score right.
No.
But then again, I forget my prediction every single time. I never keep track of it.
I do too, but there are some times where I will be like, Sunday it's football on Sunday. Yeah. I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, damn, I am way off.
Yeah, I will say
from the podcast.
Hand up, I went back on one of my predictions. So we did the episode that went out on Black Friday. We recorded that on Wednesday, and then we recorded the Monday episode on Sunday night, and we were making a pick for Monday Night Football, and I just switched my pick.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I switched from Vikings to Bears because me and Colin were just like, "Fuck it, maybe the Bears could win." So that kind of worked out.
Oh man. Well, nice.
But let's move on to the next game in the 4:00 slate, the last game in the 4:00 slate, an NFC Championship game rematch, 49ers versus Eagles. And this is one of those where even as a fan, I'm circling this one on the calendar. This is the one you want to watch. I've been waiting all year for this. It's a great time for it. The Eagles they're the best team. Okay, I'm not saying that because a couple weeks ago I said there's no best team in the NFL. They have the best record in the NFL right now. But they're not playing dominant football. They're kind of, I'm going to be honest, they're kind of pulling the Vikings of last year right now. Just winning coin toss games.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that I like what you brought up there because the 49ers, when they win, it just feels like, oh my God, why did the other team even show up? But Philly, they're like a cat. They like to keep their prey alive until they, dude, that Bills Eagles game was so scripted. I'm convinced. Go back and watch the Jalen Hurts touchdown in overtime to win the game. Micah Hyde, Pro Bowl safety, literally just didn't tackle him.
Yeah.
Didn't tackle.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to put it, but like that Eagles Bills game was ridiculous though. That was an awesome football game.
It was.
Really, really enjoyed that.
The thing about like this game, and maybe I'm falling for Vegas right here, but like the 49ers, a 3-point favorite on the road, that really makes me think the 49ers are going to win. Like that really like 3-point favorite on the road is fine, but it's against the team with the best record in the NFL, and they also happen to be playing in Philly. Like that speaks volumes to that line for the 49ers.
Yeah, yeah. Christian McCaffrey's playing like he could probably win MVP. That I mean, that Thanksgiving primetime game was ridiculous on his end. Yeah, I don't know how this one can go. Do you think there's a chance that the 49ers just hold the Eagles to like 1 or 2 scores and blow them out?
I don't know about blow them out, just because the offense hasn't like I know it looked good last week, but like Brock Purdy did not look good last week. Obviously, McCaffrey just did the heavy lifting there, but like I don't know if they'll blow them out, but if they can hold the Eagles to like 14 points, they'll win, or like even 17 points, the 49ers will win, and I think they can.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm going to kind of just
That's fair.
piggyback off of that. I'm going to take the 49ers 24-17.
24-17. I'm going to take the 49ers 28-21.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's get into Sunday Night Football then. Chiefs-Packers, a rematch of Jordan Love's first career start from back in 2020.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was not good.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Oh, man. If only Aaron Rodgers got to play in that game.
That would have been nice for
That
the
would have been
Packers.
nice.
But, yeah, like, the Packers are playing pretty good football right now. I'll give them that. Chargers win. Obviously, the Lions win was huge. Does it hold up against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes? I don't think so. And maybe if I just keep saying they're not going to win, they'll keep winning. But like it just doesn't feel like they can beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, the Packers. Fuck the Packers for what they've done to me the last couple weeks in my predictions. They've just shat on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is why I'm gonna say this. I'm like you kind of did last game. I'm gonna piggyback off of what I just said. The Raiders did. They were like 14 up against the Chiefs at one point in that game. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And the Packers are looking. They're looking sketchy to play against right now. They really are. If Jordan Love can give you 3 touchdowns, no picks, that there's 21 right there. All you need now is your running backs that, are good. They just haven't been good this season to show up. But I think Aaron Jones is probably done for. Is it the rest of the season or?
I don't think it's the rest of the season, but he's definitely out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, I think this is the most beatable Chiefs team with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like that this is
Definitely
by far, looking at the past years, like easily the most beatable version of this Chiefs team. And yeah, the Packers have a chance. Maybe they have a lead at some point in this game. I just can't count out Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's connection. Like that.
No.
It's so hard to do that.
Especially if you get 100 yards out of Rashee Rice on top of what Travis Kelce can do. That's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
Really hard to beat.
I'm going to take the Chiefs. It's going to be a narrow margin. Somehow the Chiefs are favored by 6. I don't know about that one. But I'm going to go Chiefs. Chiefs 24, Packers 20.
I was literally going to go that same exact score.
Feels right to me.
Yep. It does.
All right. Well, let's talk about Monday Night Football. Would have been a hell of a game if Joe Burrow was playing.
I
Unfortunately,
was
he's
about to
not,
say.
and so now we get to watch Jake Browning take on the Jaguars.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Um, it does suck, but just to kind of make this game a little bit more interesting is the Texans are still kind of on the heel of the Jaguars, so the Jaguars really can't afford to slip up. I
Yeah.
know they're 8-3 and Houston 6-5, but there's still enough season left for that to flip, honestly. And I really like hot take. I could see it happening.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
the Texans definitely have the talent there, and the Jaguars have, they've had sketchy games this year where they probably should have won or should have won by more. Um, I don't know. I think Cleveland, or not Cleveland, I think Cincinnati could kind of make this into a trap game. They still have weapons.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, it just, I think really the difference is going to be you have to run the ball more than 11 times, no matter how bad Joe Mixon's playing.
Agreed.
You can't give Joe Mixon only 8 carries and have your quarterback get 3. So, I think the Jaguars will probably win, but the Bengals could make it interesting if the Jaguars don't come out and show.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the Jags just have so many offensive weapons. They're definitely heating up right now. That it's gonna be real hard for this Bengals team with how weak the offense is with Jake Browning, just to even keep up. Despite whatever happens on defense for either side, just offensively, there's no way this Bengals team catches up with the Jags. Um, and I think that's just how it's going to be. Like, maybe the Bengals will put up some points in this game a little bit better than they did against the Steelers, just, because of the defenses of the matchup. But I do feel like the Jags just kind of are going to outrun them a little bit. Like, and by the end of it, it'll probably look like a little bit of a domination. So I'm going to go Jags. Yeah, Jags 28, Bengals 17.
Um, I'm gonna go Jacksonville 24, Bengals 21.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about Thursday night football. Um, it's going on in a couple of hours from right now. Seahawks, Cowboys. Not much to break down here because you're already going to know exactly what happened, but Cowboys are just rolling right now, man, especially at home.
Especially Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Yeah, every Seahawks game that I've caught this year has been one of the ones where they've scored 13 points. I have not watched a game where they have scored a lot of points yet, and I just kind of think I think the Seahawks team is on a little bit of a decline. If they make the playoffs, they'll be crawling into the playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
And they're catching Dallas at probably top one worst times to play against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, at least tonight we're gonna see probably the most perfect offense and defense we've ever seen because it's the Cowboys versus a mediocre team.
That's true.
Kind of my 2 cents on this game.
Yeah, I'm sure Dak probably throws for a couple touchdowns. I'm sure Tony Pollard's been heating up. Maybe he runs in a touchdown himself.
Yep.
We'll see. That would help me out in fantasy a whole lot. But I'm trying to beat Colin, so this is a big deal this week.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, depending on how that goes, you will see. We don't even have to say how it goes. You'll see on the Monday episode how it's going.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dallas, I got a feeling they're going to dominate. So yeah, Dallas Cowboys won last night's game. 28 to 10. Deron Bland pick 6. If I just keep saying it, it's going to happen again.
Exactly. I'm going to go 35-10 Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, tough break for the Seahawks.
A big one.
Yeah, that's brutal. But anything else for NFL Week 13 before we get into the MLB?
No, I think this week's going to be pretty good. I
I think
like a
so
lot of
as
the
well.
matchups this week.
Yeah, it's a promising week for
Yep.
sure. But let's get into some positional rankings. It's honestly
Ooh.
some of the most fun we've had doing the NFL one last year or at the end of, last season. Super fun. Now we're doing it for the MLB, and we're starting off in the infield. We're starting off at first base. We're only doing a top 5 list because top 10 lists are way too time consuming. I'll just come out and just say that. Um, like we were putting in some work making those top 10 position rankings.
Yeah, hours.
Yeah, a lot of research. This one
Yeah.
a little bit easier. And also like with football it's very opinion based. With baseball like you can just look at some numbers and be like, "Yeah, I like that guy more." Um
Yeah.
but we're doing top 5s and there's one stipulation. For each position, a player must have played at least 83 games, which in theory it should probably be 81. We'll probably go 81 going forward. But they must have played 83 games at first base or at their position. Just because, like, I don't want to pick, like, Cody Bellinger as a first baseman when he only played 50 something games at first base. But he played majority center
I mean,
field.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That is
So
fair.
that's how we're doing it, just so that it's not like, picking a guy that played first base for a couple of games and then somebody came back from injury and took back the spot. So let's start with number 5. I'm going to let you go first, Luke.
I went with Paul Goldschmidt, and for Paul Goldschmidt, I didn't even write down any stats. He is just like always been solid, and he was solid this year too. Had solid defensively, solid offensively as well. I think his like averages for this season may have been kind of down as
Definitely.
far as like the rest of his career goes, but I also kind of want to put Paul Goldschmidt on this list too because he is going to be a free agent next free agency cycle,
Yeah.
and he's only like I don't know, like 36 or something like that. So as a first baseman, I feel like he still has some years left. But yeah, I went with Goldie at number 5.
Okay. Yeah. With Goldie, it was hard. He didn't make my list. I'll go ahead and say that. Um, he probably was kind of like number 6 for my list, but I had high expectations. He was literally the NL MVP last year. I don't think anybody really talked about that throughout this season because like his numbers were so down, but like Paul Goldschmidt's a guy that should be batting 280 plus. He batted 268. He's a guy that should be playing good defense. You said he played good defense. If you look at like overall defensive statistics, really bad year. Fangraph's
Okay.
defense statistic had him at a negative 8.2, which puts him pretty close to Pete Alonso, who had a negative 10, which
Oh
kind of
wow.
tells the story there. But like great offensive season. Not going to try and take that away from him. It just wasn't good enough to me. And he was striking out at like a career high rate at 23.4%. That's pretty bad.
Gotcha.
So my number 5, Josh Naylor of the Cleveland Guardians. I think he got heavily slept on this season. Only struck out 13.7% of the time. Not a lot of home runs, not a power guy at all. But considering he was coming off of a gruesome leg break a couple of years ago, I think it was early last, not this past season, but the season before. He was coming off of that. He played so much better than I ever could have expected. He batted over 300. He batted 308. At a slugging percentage of 489. Like, this guy was so good. Big stat for me with him. WRC plus at a 128. It's huge, and Josh Naylor had one hell of a season.
Yeah, very underrated season.
Definitely.
Not a lot of people talked about Josh Naylor. For my number 4, I went with Yandy Diaz, the AL batting title winner. Career highs in doubles at 35, home runs with 22, RBI 78, and total bases. So all around, Yandy not only was in my top 5, but he had probably the best season of his entire career.
Okay. Yeah. For me at number 4, I went with Christian Walker of the Diamondbacks. Such a great year for him. Um, just really turned it up, man. And then, of course, being part of a team that went to the World Series and just overall all season played so well. He was a huge asset. 33 homers, 103 RBIs is fantastic. Um, keeping his strikeouts percentage under a 20 is great. Had a 480 or 497 slugging this year. And a 3.8 F/WAR. Fantastic across the board for Christian Walker.
Yeah. No, I really like that. I liked it so much that I had him higher than you had him. I had him at my number 3. Second consecutive season hitting 30 home runs, so solid there. He had at least 4 home runs and 14 RBI in every full month of play.
Wow.
That's a pretty good way to help out your team right there. Yeah, and I mean, just solid year, 33 home runs, 103, 103 RBIs. He was fantastic.
Yeah, and
Big reason why the
fantastic glove as well. Played some
yeah.
great defense this season. I think he was the NL Gold Glover at first base. Could be wrong. No, he was. Okay, yeah, Gold Glove. In the NL. So obviously he was doing something right, and yeah, all around just such a great season for him. But my number 3 is Yandy Diaz. We just flipped those two. So yeah, look, Yandy Diaz. When you bat 330, you win the AL batting title. You're gonna get the respect you deserve. He's finally getting the respect he deserves. It kind of started 2 years ago. Then this past year was even better. Like, he is so good. And like, on top of batting 330, to have an on-base percentage of 410, to walk 10% of the time, not strike out a lot, is huge. He does play horrible fucking defense at first base. I will say that 100%. Like, literally statistically worse than the Pete Alonsos of the world. Pete Alonso's my baseline guy when it comes to bad defense at first base.
Nice.
Because that guy, he couldn't scoop ice cream. But Yandy Diaz having a 4.7 F/WAR this season is insane. So yeah, he came in at number 3 for me. Sorry, I have to take every opportunity to make fun of Pete Alonso.
Oh God, I'm just so hungover. Couldn't scoop ice cream. Ooh wee. Grayson, I love you, man. We have so much fun doing this together. All right, so 1 and 2, we had the same 2 people. I'm just going to be very mad if you let your bias take
Vinny
over.
Pasquantino.
That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. So at number 2, I obviously took Anthony Rizzo.
Nice.
Italian Stallion.
Yeah, totally.
No, I took Matt Olson. Yep. If you hit 54 home runs, you'll probably be in the top 2 at least.
You could normally be number 1, but he's not.
Normally,
he's number 2.
Yeah, it just so happens that the guy who's number 1 is a little bit more abnormal than 54 home runs. Yeah. I don't have anything in depth on Matt Olson. Just very good defensive year at 7.4 WAR. I think that's defensive WAR that I wrote down. It may have just been overall.
How much? What? Sorry.
It was 7.4.
I think that was just Baseball Reference WAR in total. Because I'm looking at FanGraphs.
Gotcha.
Get a 6.7 F/WAR, so that would kind of line up.
Wasn't that still good?
Oh,
6.7 F/WAR?
Yeah.
I was about to say. So really good defensively, and probably had the best season of his career. I mean, it's really only up with Matt Olson. I feel like we're not going to see him decline for a long time. He's in such an amazing environment, and it kind of like how it was with Freddie. It just feels very right that Matt Olson is the starting first baseman for the Atlanta Braves. I mean, he's just in the perfect spot.
Yeah, he is fantastic. He is like the perfect replacement for Freddie Freeman, though they play relatively, different kind of game. Olson did have a little bit of a down year defensively. I think that just comes with the fact that he was playing in more important games. Like, I know that kind of sounds absurd to just be like, yeah, well, he played bad defense because his team was good, but like, I think it does kind of play a factor. Like, the guy was winning Gold Gloves with the Athletics because like you had to give him some credit. But like he was surrounded by guys doing great stuff, and like it's hard to keep up with that. Um,
Yeah.
at least defensively. Offensively, of course, he almost led the way, but yeah, 54 home runs, absurd. 127 runs scored is even better as a first baseman, and 139 RBIs is actually ridiculous. And like didn't strike out over 25% like a lot of the other power hitters up near the top. Um, walks at a super high percentage for a first baseman at 14.4%. So, yeah, I'm super happy with Matt Olson. It's just unfortunately there's an MVP nominee ahead of him.
Yeah, and before we jump into the MVP nominee ahead of him, I just realized that I'm looking on Baseball Reference here. In 2017, Matt Olson actually he didn't hit nearly as many home runs
Yeah.
or have nearly as many RBI, but he probably had a better overall season at the plate.
Yeah, 2017 was a very good year for him. Or sorry, 2018.
Yeah, higher OPS, higher OPS
Well, in
plus.
2017, he only played 59 games.
Oh, so he wouldn't have been able to make the list, but still, he was
Yeah.
killing it.
2018 was a
Um,
little bit of a down year. Sorry.
yeah,
Did win a Gold Glove though.
um, did win a Gold Glove, but I, this guy at number one is just ridiculous,
Yep.
and he probably would have been MVP if it wasn't for Ronald Acuna. His name is Freddie Freeman of the LA Dodgers. He pretty much, and I want to double check it here because I didn't. Oh no, I did write it down. So Freddie Freeman had stats above his career averages in OBP, slugging, OPS, and batting average, and all of which stats he just crushed this year. I mean, his career averages
Yeah.
meant nothing to him in 2023. And like you said, he was an MVP nominee. So that is why Freddie Freeman was my top first baseman.
Yeah, like there's so many stats to read off, and like 7.9 F/WAR, amazing for a first baseman. To be pushing 8 F/WAR, obviously 331 batting average is crazy. Would have been up there. He was up there for the batting title, but Luis Arias, of course, only hit singles, so kind of screwed Freddie. But a strikeout percentage at 16.6%. As a first baseman, that is crazy. And then just the cherry on top is a first baseman having a 2020 season. 29 home runs, 23 stolen bases.
Yeah, where's he getting the stolen bases from?
He's like sneakily fast because he is all legs, so he just kind of moves far. It's not fast. He moves. He covers a lot of ground in a short amount of time.
Oh my god, what was that one play where he's at first and he's on the mic and he's like the
Spring
wind, and
training.
he just keeps
Yeah,
running.
that was
He's pretty
was
fast there.
spring training before the 2020 season, I think. Maybe there's 2021.
Wow. Oh
One of those two.
yeah. Anyway, that's a good point. He is a lot of legs.
Yeah. But yeah, Freddie was just so obviously the number one. Matt Olson certainly gave him a run for his money, but Freddie Freeman was far and away the best first baseman in the league this year.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. And then so the only difference we had was number 5.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was really that was a matter of just expectations on my part, really.
Yeah.
You expect Paul Goldschmidt to have a better season than Josh Naylor, and then when you look at the numbers and you see that Josh Naylor had pretty close to as good of a season, if not better, it's kind of hard to not give him the spot to me.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. That was the first of many. So we're going position by position. We'll go through probably the 4 infielders, then catcher. Then we'll hit each outfield position. Then we'll do DHs, utilities, and then we'll close it out by doing top 10 pitchers. That way, I think by then we will have, first of all, taken a very long time to get through all of it. But
Yeah.
um, it'll kind of lead us into talking about next year, talking about spring training, stuff like that. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, like pitchers and catchers should be reporting by the time we're done with this, which is kind of fun. It's gonna be a good way to just
That's
kind of
crazy to think about.
yeah, it's gonna be a good it's a good way to just kind of speed through the MLB off season.
Yep.
Just talking about the last year because they were not all stuck on the normal talking points. Be like, well, who's gonna be good next year? Oh, where's this guy gonna go? I'm so tired of that. I am, dude. Like me and Colin did our way too early playoff predictions for Monday's episode, and like I was just like saying names. I was just like, yeah, maybe the Yankees are gonna finish better than the Rangers next year. I said that. I don't know if I believe it. I just said it.
Wow. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. You can be like a meteorologist.
Exactly.
You can just say whatever the hell you want to.
I it's specifically way too early because like I could just like even if the Yankees like only signed like a bad relief pitcher in free agency and they win 30 games, I could be like, well, I thought they were gonna pick up more players. That's all I have to. Honestly, they could pick up a bunch of good players. I'm like, but they didn't get Otani. Which, like, if I'm saying that, like, I really should have. I should have just been like, well, like, the Mets are going to make the playoffs because they're going to get Otani, but, like, the Giants are also going to get Otani, and so are the Dodgers and the Yankees. Like, they're all going to get Otani, so they're all going to make the playoffs. I'm wishing
I don't know. Otani doesn't always mean playoffs.
That's a good point. That's actually statistically proven. He has a 0% chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, he
Dude,
adds
watch him go.
nothing.
Watch him in his first playoff series, just like not even hit the ball.
It wouldn't surprise me, but also like we've seen him play on a big stage, like World Baseball Classic Championship.
It's true.
Yeah, big stage. True. But nonetheless, let's get into a little bit of soccer. Actually, quite a bit of soccer. We got 2 soccer segments in a row, but we start off with Premier League weekend preview. Damn, dude, there's some good matchups this week. And we've actually got Premier League action all week long. Don't know why. I have so many questions about how the Premier League season is scheduled. I'm not going to ask them, but we got games Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. We got like almost a full slate on Wednesday. Got 2 good games on Thursday as well. There is literally soccer all week. Once again, don't ask me why, but there is. And we're only talking about Saturday and Sunday because that is technically how long this next match day goes. So, the best matchup of the week, Newcastle, Manchester United. It's not really. I don't know if it's actually the best match of the week because, like, you could argue for Man City versus Spurs, which we'll also talk about, and Chelsea versus Brighton, which we will also talk about. But in my case, it's the best match of the week.
No, it's gonna be a good one for sure.
It is. It's a standalone on Saturday. Yeah, look, it's gonna be interesting. Newcastle is, man. I'm like so deflated by that fucking penalty at the end of that match on Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever day that fucking was. Tuesday. It's not a fucking penalty.
But you were very inflated with the Premier League game before that.
Oh yeah. Oh baby, was I fucking on one last weekend. Kicked the shit out of Chelsea.
Damn.
Yeah, but yeah, that result on Tuesday fucking sucks because like that would have been a huge fucking win for qualification.
Yeah, it would have. Now that group is still up for grabs at this point, isn't it?
I know. Like we have, I think us and Milan are tied on points right now. PSG has, I think Us and AC Milan have 5. PSG has 7. Dortmund's already qualified for the knockout stage. Crazy enough. They already have.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about more of it with the Champions League stuff because we're going to talk about some qualification updates. But yeah, it's an insane group right now, and I'll go through some scenarios. But for now, Manchester United versus Newcastle. Manchester United sits at 6th, Newcastle in 7th. 1 point of separation between the two, despite the goal differential. Newcastle 17, Manchester United 0. Look, it's going to be a good match, no matter what. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, Manchester United actually in the Premier League are coming off of 3 back-to-back clean sheets. They have a 1-0 win over Fulham, 1-0 over Luton, and then 3-0 over Everton. But I don't know, something about the Galatasaray game has me thinking that United, they have to be rattled. They have to be rattled after that because that was ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Garnacho's coming off of like probably one of the greatest bicycle kicks of all time.
It was insane.
That was ridiculous. Did you see the meme where I sent that video of the guy where he's like, and then I swung my body? Because that's exactly what he looked like.
Yeah. It was
a fantastic
It was
fight.
very Wayne Rooney-esque. And then like he hits like a Ronaldo celebration. Like it was Manchester United through and through for that goal. But
yeah,
my thing is they don't score goals enough. I know they scored 3 against Everton and 3 against Galatasaray. They scored 1 against Luton Town. So, hold your horses. It's not like this is a revolutionary offense. And their leading goal scorer in the Prem is Bruno Fernandes with 3 goals. So that's not great either.
No.
And like with the way that Newcastle's scoring goals right now, it could really be anybody from anywhere. Like,
that's a good point. That's a very, very good point.
Like it really can be. It's kind of crazy how different the goal scorers are in these games. But like Alexander Isak is obviously like the favorite to score the goals for the team. But like, if we're running out, a team that looks similar to what we ran out against PSG, I just don't see us losing against Manchester United.
I don't either. Just to give a quick score prediction here for this game too, because I do think it's already decided. I'm gonna go Newcastle 2-0. Newcastle.
Yeah. Look, Newcastle does score 2.4 goals per match, as opposed to Manchester United's 1.2 goals per match. So I'm going to kind of just follow those predictions. I'm going to go Newcastle 2-1.
Nice.
All right. Let's talk about your team. Big match.
Do we have
Big match for Chelsea. They take on Brighton on Sunday. Reece James got a red card against Newcastle, so he's out of this one. Cucurella is out of this one as well. I think his was yellow card accumulation, I believe, for his suspension. Yeah, man. Brighton is weird this season. Like, obviously injuries have kind of hurt them a lot. Solly March goes down, and Cisso's been out for a little bit. But like it just seems like Caicedo leaving definitely kind of hurt them a little bit in the midfield. But like they had the guys to fill his role, and it just seems like it's still not quite working. Like they're beating the bad teams, but also like they're drawing with a lot of bad teams. And it's really hurting them, despite the fact that they do still sit 8th in the table. Like they're not horrible. They're not going to get relegated. They're just not quite playing up to the standard that was set last year.
No, that's a good point. But I do want to point out that Brighton actually hasn't lost any game in all competitions since like October 21st.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they've almost gone. Well, they've gone like a full month without losing. They're coming off of 2 wins. They have a win over Forest with 10 men, and then a win over AEK in the Europa League. Chelsea, I just, oh my God, Grayson, I don't know. I just don't know. Is the Premier League game before Newcastle was the one against City? That was a 4-4 draw thriller. Then we play Newcastle and we give up another 4 goals. So 8 goals conceded in the last 2 games versus Brighton, who are known to be good goal scorers. At least, definitely towards the beginning of the season they were. And I don't know what to think about Chelsea. Like you're riding high off of tying City 4-4, and then you play Newcastle at a time where I think you and I both kind of predicted like we didn't know if Newcastle was going to be able to beat Chelsea or not.
Yeah.
And then we just get thrashed by them. Like it's no competition. So do I want to be right or do I want to be a Chelsea fan? I'm going to be hard on my team for once. I'm going to go Brighton 1-0.
Yeah.
Over Chelsea.
I do think Brighton wins. Chelsea has done a good job of scoring goals, though. I want to give them their props for kind of turning things around because we know how it was last year. But, like, you have been scoring goals. Like, obviously, you scored 1 against Newcastle, but you scored 4 against Man City, 4 against Tottenham, which you call it a fluke or whatever. You put up 2 against Arsenal back in October, and you put 4 up against Burnley back in October as well. You guys can score goals. That's not the issue now. I think it's just consistency and defense.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where the issues are in the defense, per se. I've watched a decent amount of Chelsea. I haven't really been breaking it down. But it certainly doesn't help that, both the guys that started at fullback last week for you are suspended. Considering you were already not playing the best defense. And look, Brighton knows how to score some goals. So I'm going to take Brighton 3-1. Unfortunately for you. Not that it affects me. Actually, I would like Brighton to lose because they're right behind us in the table. But, if we win, it doesn't matter. So, our next matchup is a standalone game on Sunday. Man City versus Tottenham. Big one. Tottenham
this one's going to be a blowout.
Is hurling down the table right now. It is bad. They were in first place.
Chelsea popped the balloon.
Yeah, they were in first place a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
They are now out of a Champions League spot. Tottenham is on a horrible decline right now. They've lost their last 3 matches. They lost to Villa, they lost to Wolves, and of course the Chelsea loss. And before that, they had won like 5-6 in a row?
4 in a row.
Yeah.
With a draw in the middle, and then before that draw, they were 2 in a row.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what's happened. Honestly, there is a couple of injuries. Mickey Van de Ven has been down for a couple of weeks. He's been a great defensive player for them this season. And then obviously James Maddison has been out of the lineup for I think a week now. He's not back till January. And he was playing ridiculously well for the first couple months of the season. So, yeah, and now like Ivan Perisic also went down, who like hasn't been like a pivotal player in this lineup, but has certainly been a key contributor and a crucial first team player. So, yeah, man, it's interesting what's happened to Spurs. Obviously, Heung-min Son is still there. He's still, doing his thing. Definitely slowed down. No doubt about that. But when it comes down to it, Man City is just, they're too good. They are, simply.
Yeah. I don't know what to say because it's, looking at it now, it's not like Tottenham necessarily had the worst game against Villa, just not as many goals as Villa had.
Yeah.
Your only goal is from Giovanni Lo Celso in midfield, which I think is kind of a problem. And, I don't know if you just mentioned it in that little and that and what you just said, but James Madison being out, I think, has been probably the main thing for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Going forward, they just have not been able to really kind of piece together any decent attacks without him. And it's hurting Youngman's Son too at striker. I don't think he's actually scored a game without James Madison at cam. That might need to be checked on.
That sounds right. Let's just go with it.
Yeah, it's been brutal. Yeah, we can just go with it.
Make them sound worse.
And then, I think you and I kind of previewed it when we were previewing the Villa Tottenham game, but like Aston Villa were just catching Tottenham at the perfect time, and it was not a good time to play Aston Villa if you're Tottenham. So I definitely understand that loss there. And then on the City side, is they've just been dominant. They haven't lost since like the 1st of October. Yeah, like the first week they lost to Arsenal.
Yeah.
That was their last loss. Ever since then, it's just been draws and wins upon wins, big wins too. They've been scoring a lot. I'm gonna take City 3-0.
Yeah, look, City played a fantastic match midweek that we'll talk about for sure. Amongst the best matches of Matchday 5 in the UCL. And it was a huge down 2-0 comeback victory, 3-2. And this wasn't even their best lineup going up against Leipzig.
No.
Like, you had Rico Lewis in the starting lineup. You had Manuel Akanji at CDM again for some reason. You had Ortega in goal. Yeah. Like, that is for sure not their strongest lineup. They still look great, especially in the second half, which is kind of surprising. And it worked there. I think if they run, they're obviously going to run something a little bit better than that. And yeah, they're going to stomp Tottenham. I think it's going to be 3-0.
Yep.
It's just, yeah, they're so good. It's kind of insane how well Man City's playing. Like, we're not even talking about how good Arsenal is playing.
I know.
But, yeah, Man City is
it's crazy.
On a heater. Other matches, though, this weekend, you got Arsenal top of the table versus Wolves, way down near the bottom. And then you got Brentford versus Luton, Burnley versus Sheffield United. Hopefully, maybe Burnley can get a win. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Be their second on the season.
Wouldn't it, JJ?
Yeah. Well, honestly, it'd be nice if they could get a draw. It would also be their second on the season. They have been by far the worst team in the league this year. Like, Everton got a 10-point deduction and is only tied with them in points. It's bad. Not that Sheffield United's much better, but whoa. That one's going to be...
How unlucky Everton are.
There's a good chance Burnley Sheffield United is like 1-1. Maybe.
You think so?
Yeah. And then you got Nottingham Forest Everton. Another shitter. That one's on NBC. Yep. What the fuck?
Oh, lovely.
Why are they doing that to us?
All the Americans get to watch that game.
That game is a standalone game. On NBC, and they're putting Newcastle Man United on after it on USA.
What after it? Oh, after. Okay, I see what you're saying.
After that game, another standalone, and it's Newcastle United. I don't know. Okay, Sunday though, you got Bournemouth versus Villa, and then you got Chelsea and Brighton. That one on USA. Liverpool, Fulham, West Ham, Crystal Palace. And then Man City Spurs standalone on Sunday. If you're wondering what's happening during the week, you don't need to watch any soccer on Tuesday. Don't worry about it. These matchups suck. Wolves, Burnley, Luton, Arsenal. Unless, I guess, if you want to watch Arsenal score like 10 goals, you can put that one on Tuesday. Wednesday, though, there is a lot of good matchups. You have Brighton, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Liverpool. Aston Villa, Man City is a good one. Man United, Chelsea is a good one. Then Thursday, Everton versus Newcastle. Maybe not a good matchup. I'm going to watch it. And then you got Spurs versus West Ham. And then it gets into the week after that. But I kind of like having some midweek matches for the Prem. It's nice.
I do too.
Yeah, give me a chance to watch some later in the afternoon matches, at least, US time. It's kind of nice.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to move on to the Champions League. Such a good
Let's
week.
do it.
Such a good week. Bunch of just pivotal moments for qualification here. So I guess, yeah, first let's go through some of the best matchups. You got any on the top of your head? I know you talked about one at the top of the show.
Yeah, I mean, Benfica Inter 3-3 draw with a Benfica red card. Arsenal scored 6 goals against Lens. Absolutely destroyed them.
Real Madrid 4-2 over
Copenhagen.
Napoli.
Yeah, Copenhagen pulling off a draw with Bayern.
Yeah, then again, Bayern doesn't need to try.
I hope they try against Manchester United.
Oh, I do too.
I do, yeah, big time.
Also, shout out Salzburg, getting a point.
Yay!
Way to go, guys. Good work.
Good job, team.
It was hard fought. It took a lot of work for them.
Yeah.
Look, hey man, their first points since the first match day of the entire tournament. Yeah, Benfica Inter was cool. 3-3 draw. Just wild. You had a hat trick by Yao Mario within the first 34 minutes of the game. First 2 goals in the first 13 minutes of the game. And then Inter just storms through them. Arnautovic in the 51st, Fratesi in the 58th, and Alexis Sanchez, a name that I did not think I'd be saying in 2023, scored a penalty in the 72nd minute to take a 3-2 lead. Or sorry, to draw the game at 3-3, and then they end up holding on to it. But damn, like what a second half comeback to at least secure some points. And
Inter Milan's fucked up for tying that game. That's Benfica's only point in the Champions League.
I know, which is wild because like they're a good team. Like, yeah, it's not like they just are full of just bums. Like, it's some good players on that Benfica team, and like I'm sure they're in a good spot in the Portuguese league right now. What they're sitting, first place. They're first place in the Portuguese league right now. Oh my god,
ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. But the matches on Tuesday, some of them even better than Wednesday's matches. Obviously the PSG Newcastle 1-1 draw. God, dude, like I didn't have time to turn that one on the TV, so I was just like I pulled up like one of like the play-by-play things, and it was like this, like it was just like the ball moving around, time's getting real close to expiring, like injury time's almost over, and then I just like it pops up and it's like VAR check penalty, and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And then, like, I go on social media to see what it is, and everybody's like, that is not a penalty. Like, blah, blah, like, Tino Livramento didn't even touch that. And then, somehow, VAR says it's a penalty. And, and then Mbappe, slots it home, and they get out of there with a point. It's just like, come on. Like, first of all, PSG way outplayed us in that game. So, like, the fact that we were winning for, from the 24th minute all the way up until the very end of it, because there was literally 8 minutes of stoppage time. PSG scored the equalizer in the 90th plus 8. Like, the stats were crazy. Like, PSG had 67% of the possession. They took 31 shots, which is insane. Not quite as many on target. It was actually, I think, a shockingly low number on target. But like on the Champions League website, they have a stat for attacks. PSG had 93 attacks, which I believe is making a pass within the attacking third. believes what that is.
93?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Opposed to Newcastle, who had 33% of the possession, 5 total shots, and 20 attacks.
And it took them a penalty to
It
score their
really
first goal.
wasn't a penalty. Like, Nick Pope had 6
That wasn't a
saves
penalty. Oh, wow.
in this match. And yeah,
What a game.
yeah, they still sneak away with a fucking point, which sucks. But then you also have the Dortmund win, which was huge for us. For Milan to get no points there was tremendously big for us. Dortmund won that 3-1. They're playing some fantastic games these last couple of weeks. Like,
Yeah, especially in the Champions League,
yeah,
too.
two straight wins over Newcastle, and then you get this one. But yeah, it's Chukwueze in the 37th minute, the sole goal scorer for Milan. But a Royce penalty in the 10th. A goal by
Rolls-Royce.
Beno Gittins. I don't even know who that is, to be honest. And then Adeyemi, who's getting some interest in England right now.
Yeah.
For January, he put up a goal in the 69th minute. I think Giroud got a goal called back early in this game.
Brutal.
Well.
No, that Bittens guy, he's just like a young winger. He probably has a better ceiling than like Callum Hudson-Odoi now.
Okay. Yeah, 21-year-old English winger.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not 21, 19-year-old. His national team number is 21. I don't know why it showed that before his age. Yeah, 19 years old. Gee, dude, that kills me. I'm now like at that age where like there's quite a few professional athletes that I'm older than. That pisses me off.
Especially in soccer.
Yeah.
Especially
you had
soccer.
the kid in fucking AC Milan, younger than my little brother, making his professional debut. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That man couldn't even drive a car by himself in America.
But he can play for AC Milan.
Yeah, he sure can. Played like 9 minutes, but yeah, he can.
Didn't Manchester United have a kid that debuted against Galatasaray, maybe?
I thought they debuted some young players. I think you're right. And I think Newcastle debuted a couple of young guys, not against PSG, but over the weekend against Chelsea.
Okay.
A lot of young players getting their debuts right now.
Crap, I wanted to find out who Manchester United's young kid was, because I've been hearing a lot of stuff about him.
Let me pull up their result real quick. Just see who got subbed in. Let's see. Is it Kobe Mino? Kobe Mino?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. How old is he?
I don't know. I could pull it up. Just a second.
18.
Yeah.
Born in 2005, April 19th.
Oh, God, that kills me, dude.
My God, he was born 3 years after me on the same month.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And
yeah, that's insane. Maybe that's why they lost, or maybe that's why they didn't win.
Yeah, because of him.
Even yeah, like I will say, 2 of the goals came after he came in the game.
Uh-oh.
And he did replace Sofyan Amrabat, who was playing defensive midfield. Just saying.
Yeah.
It could be his fault.
And we'll just
attack
never hear
him
about
online.
Him
I'm kidding. That's the most fucked up thing people do, though. Just like attack young soccer players
really
online.
Is.
I'll never forget
it really is.
how Saka got attacked. After what was that? The
Euro? The penalty?
Yeah, the penalty
against Italy.
Oh my God, dude, that was insane.
It's just it's horrible. Horrible.
Is. Yeah, that is one thing. Like, obviously, there is a very that happens in American sports, for sure. Like people just like heckle the players, but it doesn't seem like there's ever a player that is that young doing something on that big of a stage in American sports.
No. Yeah, almost never.
Yeah. Which is kind of
Almost
crazy.
never.
But let's go through the groups and just talk about who's qualified with only one match day to go. Bayern,
Yeah.
obviously, qualified, 13 points. But Copenhagen and Galatasaray both have 5 points. Manchester United has 4 points. And I believe Copenhagen and Galatasaray play each other.
Yes. And all I'm going to say right now, if Copenhagen and Galatasaray tie and United wins, I'll
I'm gonna
never
be so
watch
mad,
another
dude.
Champions League match ever again.
I'm going to be so mad.
Because Bayern, I mean, I know what Bayern looks like
has
right
to
now,
win.
but in Old Trafford.
They got to at least draw.
And
They can draw.
to me, it sounds kind of like a trap game. It sounds like United could make a story here, but at the same time, who knows?
It would be
really
nice,
hope it
though,
doesn't happen.
like if you're Bayern, to just like go undefeated in your group. That would be nice.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what they should strive for.
Yes, I agree. So yeah, Group A, the last 3 spots, definitely all over the place. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Definitely my personal favorite for sure, Group A.
yeah, Group A has been great. Group B, not quite as much. Arsenal and PSV have already qualified, I believe, because Lens is okay. I don't know. Yeah, I guess PSV
Lens
has
still good.
qualified.
I thought Lens could
It
qualify.
looks like they. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Yeah, because they're only 3 points behind, but it shows on the Champions League's website that they're qualified.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. I wonder why. Like they do have a 4
what's the
goal
difference?
difference. Yeah, it's a 4 difference, a 4 goal difference. But that doesn't mean they're technically qualified. So that's kind of weird. I don't know why that is.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, and like they don't even play each other. I don't know. But Sevilla better beat Lens, because if Sevilla beats Lens, they already have a better goal differential, and then Sevilla can get what they want and then go to the Europa League
instead of having nothing.
Yeah, that's been the plan this whole time. That's why they haven't won a single game in this group.
Yep. That's exactly why.
Yeah, that's why they sacked their manager like 2 months ago. Group C, though, still a spot up for grabs. Real Madrid, of course, flawless, 5-0, 15 points through this group. And, Braga's got a chance. I doubt Union Berlin is going to get the win they need to go to the Europa League. Probably best they don't, honestly, with how bad they're playing in Germany. But Braga and Napoli, it would have to be a big win for Braga, because they're 3 goals behind in goal differential right now. But they do play each other, so it could be a big one.
Ooh, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, big match there. Group D, though, Real Sociedad and Inter have already clinched the top 2 spots. Benfica technically has a chance to go to the Europa League. They're not gonna. I hope they aren't, honestly.
No, for their sake.
Yeah, I hope Salzburg doesn't lose 4-0. That would suck. Dude,
and
Benfica
then
has given up 10 goals
in 5 match days. That's like two goals per game.
That's not good. Well, I guess okay. Well, Celtic has given up 14. Speaking of, let's get to Group E. Atletico Madrid and Lazio have already clinched those.
Decided, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess Group D is close, but Group E, yes, it is fully decided. Atletico Madrid and Lazio are moving on. Feyenoord going to the Europa League, and Celtic is going back to Scotland.
Yeah, you know what? Shout out Feyenoord for getting 6 points in this group. I mean, Celtic is just, despite Celtic, being just completely shit on, that's still a very hard place to go and play, and they always play their teams hard. So, yeah, shout out Feyenoord.
Definitely. And then you have the group of death itself. Dortmund clinches a spot. They could technically end up second. I don't think that really affects anything because everybody just gets put in a draw, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
Yep.
it's not even a big deal. It's not like any, American sports where there's seeding. Uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, Dortmund is already clinched to move on. But yeah, this one could get mixy. It is interesting for sure. I really need Dortmund to beat PSG because
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I certainly think we can beat Milan. That's not the issue here. Um the problem is I need PSG to draw or lose for Newcastle to move on because if we draw with Milan, we'll go to the Europa League. It's whatever. If we win, I'd like to go to the Champions League.
Yeah. Yeah. That
I
would
would
suck
I
to
would
win
hate.
and not go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, look, PSG if they
Oh, man.
draw, they'll still only have a 1 goal differential, and they'll be at 8 points. And in that case, we would have to win by 2, to move on.
Yeah.
So it's big. It's a big week.
Ideally, in my perfect world, I would have liked to have seen Newcastle and Milan both be in a position to both go
Yeah.
instead of Dortmund and PSG. But I am pulling for you. I'm pulling for the tunes, Grayson. I'm on your side in this one. I would I would absolutely love to see Newcastle make it to the Champions League
Yeah.
at the expense of PSG.
It would be
Oh my god,
something that you couldn't even come up with. You can't make that shit up.
dude. The Emir of Qatar, he's not going to any Europa League games.
Oh, but
He's
think about
done.
it. This is Saudi Arabia versus Qatar right here.
You're right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh man.
Who's got more money? I got a hint. It ain't Qatar. They don't have enough oil. Yeah, let's start talking geopolitics.
Yep.
Yeah, that's enough for Group F because I might actually start talking geopolitics. Yeah, Group G, real close to being decided, but technically Red Star does have a fighting chance, and that fight will come against Man City, so they don't have a chance at all. But Man City, nice 5-0 to join Real Madrid in that group, but yeah, and then Leipzig has won every other game except against Man City, which is impressive in its own right.
Yeah.
And then you had Young Boys just all they had to do was draw Red Star and then beat them, and just about got them to the Europa League. So that's pretty solid. So as long as Young Boys doesn't lose and Red Star doesn't beat Man City by 3 goals, Young Boys will be going to the Europa League.
Oh wow.
And then in Group H, obviously Antwerp is just shit out of luck. They didn't put up a single point thus far, and I believe they'll be playing Barcelona next week. Yes, they will.
Conceded the most goals too out of anybody so
12,
far.
12 goals conceded. Makes sense when you have 0 points.
Holy shit! I just realized Manchester United's given up 14.
Yeah.
They're literally up there with Celtic and Antwerp.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Andre
Anyway,
Onana is very bad, and he's way worse in the Champions League than anything. It seems like all of these like big moments where like all the Man United fans are getting pissed off at Andre Onana have all come from Champions League matches.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, Group H, Barcelona sits atop with 12 points. They lost 1 match to, I believe, Porto. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, I think they lost to Shakhtar.
Yeah, they did. They lost to Shakhtar Matchday 4.
So, I mean, who do you want here, Portugal or Ukraine? That's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah. Who do I want to lose in their first match in the knockout stage? I'd probably go Porto. Yeah. They score more goals.
Yeah. It would have been a lot better if either Porto or Shakhtar was playing Barcelona.
Yeah.
Because then you could potentially have had it to where Barcelona didn't make it at all.
Yeah, That would be
It
nice.
flipped,
It definitely would.
but that's not how the gods drew
Yeah.
it up.
Either way, one of these teams will go to Europe, since obviously Antwerp is not. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the update right now. So only a few spots up for grabs. You got what, 1, 2, 3, 4 spots for the knockout stages up for grabs. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see. So we'll have those matches. The next round of matches will be 2 weeks from now, I believe, and then Monday, December 18th, will be the draw for the round of 16.
On the 18th?
Yeah, December 18th.
Gotcha. That seems so far away.
It does, but when you think about it, like they just do everything in 2 weeks every time. So it's like week
Yeah,
on, week off for the Champions League. So it kind of just flies by.
that is true. That is true.
Well, because like, yeah, the next matches will be, I think, the 12th and the 13th of December, which is only 2 weeks away.
Yeah,
um,
true,
but
true.
yeah, that's all for the Champions League. Luke, we've kind of flown through this episode, but I believe it's questions time.
Hey, questions time. My
Uh,
favorite.
who's going first?
Um, I got it.
Okay,
I
let's
got
hear
it.
it.
So we just got done talking about soccer, so I will I have a lot of just like opinion all-time questions here is kind of what I did.
Okay.
Um I'm gonna go MLB. Who's your favorite closing pitcher of all time and why?
Ah, man.
And the only reason I asked you this position is because I don't hear you talk about like all-time closing pitchers a lot.
Yeah, well, like the thing is,
I
like
wanted you to tell me.
Mariano Rivera is obviously the best. The one I have the biggest connection to is Craig Kimbrell. Um,
Yep.
Turner Field, Thunderstruck comes on. You know what the fuck is up, bro. But yeah, exactly.
Just like that.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to go Kimbrel just because like he's the primary like dominant starting or dominant closing pitcher that I got to watch a lot, just because that was the games that were on in my house growing up.
Yep.
Yeah, because like I caught kind of the tail end of Mariano Rivera's career. I do love Josh Hader. He's just fun to watch.
Josh Hader's
Um,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I think I'll have to go Kimbrel for that.
All right.
I will say I like
Nice.
Eric Gagne. I just like watching him pitch.
Okay.
That was an interesting
Awesome.
question. I've never really had to think about that one.
Well, I'm glad.
All right. Well, yeah, let's talk NFL. Now that we are well past the halfway point in the season, I'm asking this question again. Who is the NFL MVP?
I honestly was kind of hoping that you would come back to this question
Yeah.
so that we could talk about it. It's got to be Tyreek Hill or McCaffrey, right?
I think there's somebody you're forgetting.
Are they a quarterback?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, CJ Stroud.
No.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott.
What? Oh, duh. Shit.
You're sleeping
You
on
really
Dak.
stumped me there. I am sleeping
Okay,
on Dak.
well, CJ definitely has a claim at the moment, but Dak has been crazy. And, like, this stretch
Yeah.
has been huge for him.
Yeah, I want to look at 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Let's see his last 5. So he hasn't thrown a pick in 2 games. He threw a pick against the Giants, but only 1, and he also had 4 touchdowns. Had a 3 touchdown no pick game against Philly, and then a 4 touchdown 1 interception game the game before against the Rams. Yeah, he's been like just creaming teams.
Yeah. Pause.
Pause for cream.
Yeah. You said he's been
Creaming
creaming
on
teams.
Who's your MVP?
I think it's Dak. at the moment.
Really?
Maybe I'm just being wowed by the last couple of weeks, but it's just big performance after big performance, and I think that does it for me.
Well, Tyreek Hill,
Yeah,
he's already at 1,300
the
yards.
only problem is that he's not a quarterback, and I'm thinking of this from the perspective of whoever the fuck is deciding this award, the Associated Press, I think.
Yep.
That's the perspective I always look at the MVP award for. Offensive Player of the Year, got to be Tyreek Hill right now.
Yeah. Yep.
But
yep.
Yeah, I think McCaffrey's a close second. Just missing a little bit of time, one tough game, that kind of holds him back. But nonetheless, he's definitely up there. Next question though, what you got?
Yeah. So you went NFL. I got to go back to soccer. Let's talk about best center back pairing of all time.
Okay.
Across all leagues. It can be.
Is it the best or is it our favorites?
Let's try to debate the best.
Okay.
And I have.
I'm gonna go for a relatively modern one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go Thiago Silva and David Luiz.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I would argue that.
Well, Thiago Silva and Marquinhos might have been a better one.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Chiellini, Buffon.
Wait, what?
Jorginho, Chiellini, and Buffon? Or no? Oh my, Bonucci. Sorry.
Okay.
Bonucci,
I was about to
Buffon.
say, did you say cornerback or center back goalkeeper and I just missed it and I sound like an idiot now? Okay. Okay.
No. I was wrong. Sergio Ramos, Varane.
Yeah, that one's good.
Up there too.
On it, like Sergio Ramos probably has a couple of different people you could put him with in his time at Real Madrid.
Yeah. Maybe Pepe. Pepe was good.
Him and Pepe was a fantastic duo for sure.
What
red cards.
You just don't want to play
over
against
the
those
place,
guys.
dude. Yeah, you could PK and Charles Puyol.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a really good duo.
That's a good one. Maldini Nesta.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say probably is the best of all time.
Probably is the best.
Let's go Premier League today.
Premier
Who do you
League
think
right
has the best?
Now?
Yeah.
A lot of people run three at the backs right now, but damn, that's tough. Like a lot of teams have one really good one and one pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's
yep.
Man City. Ruben Dias, obviously insane. And the same kind of goes for Liverpool, where it's Virgil van Dijk is insane, but then he just has a cast of characters around him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of somebody that just has two straight up good center backs.
You almost said cornerback.
I know, because I think of CB in my head first.
Arsenal, Liverpool, City.
Arsenal is
Newcastle United. Newcastle United and Manchester United are top 5 in least amount of goals conceded.
Okay. I think Arsenal, when it comes down to just a duo, two straight up, I think they might have the best.
Yeah, probably. All right, your turn.
Yeah. Okay. Baseball. Since we're starting to do these positional rankings, and we're talking about the top 5s, who is a player that really disappointed you with how they played in 2023?
Yeah, are you really asking a Yankees fan then?
I am, because there's so many to choose from. I think your obvious answer would be Carlos Rodon, but I think there's some options.
I would say I'm a little bit disappointed in Manny Machado.
Yeah.
And I know he got hurt as well, but he was a guy that I don't know. I just think the MLB is a lot of fun when he's playing very, very well. Especially ever since he left Baltimore, I can actually like him. I love Manny Machado, and he
Yeah.
just hasn't. He wasn't really it last season.
Yeah. I still hate Manny Machado at all times.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean that's fair.
yeah. The Pedroia slide, a big part of that. But
Hang on, I have a list of players that would fit this. Go ahead.
I
I'm just
thought
looking for
I
something.
would have definitely guessed you would have said Josh Donaldson.
Is he really like? Is he supposed to be good
He's
anymore?
supposed to be better than he was.
That's fair.
That's for sure.
That is fair.
I think there's
Who's
definitely
yours?
quite a few pitchers. I think Tyler Glasnow was one for me that I was super high on going into the season. I don't know if you remember this. I picked him to win AL Cy Young. He was not
With
good.
who?
Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one didn't quite work.
Nah, he had some flashes though.
Yeah. Oh
He
yeah.
was okay.
Yeah. Lance Lynn. Very disappointing season from Lance Lynn.
Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Actually would
That might be
probably
the
top
that
Manny
might yeah
Machado for
that
me.
might be the top one.
Yeah. No, I don't know if you remember, but on one of our podcasts, I asked you 11 underperformers who can make a difference in the postseason. So, like,
Yeah.
there are guys on here like Byron Buxton, Jazz Chisholm,
Yeah.
Carlos Correa, Ty France, Vladdy, Cedric Mullins,
Vladdy is
Aaron
definitely
Nola.
up there for me for disappointing, underperforming. Because
Yes.
once again, I had him as my AL MVP.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we both had Anthony Volpe as our AL MVP or something
Or
like that,
AL
didn't
Rookie
we?
of the Year, yeah.
Rookie of the Year.
And I only did
Um,
Volpe because I didn't want to go with the obvious answer in Gunnar Henderson, which would have been the correct answer. Unfortunately, I would have looked real good in those preseason things if I had taken the guys that I wanted to over the guys that I thought would sound good.
Yeah, and just to round out this list, we had Jeremy Pena, Talion, the Cubs, Jameson
Yeah, Jameson
Talion,
Taillon.
Rowdy Telez, and Kyle Wright.
Yeah, well, Kyle Wright was
But yeah,
hurt.
Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I think Braves wise, for me, we played so fucking well all year. It's kind of hard to pick somebody that underperformed in particular. I will say Sean Murphy sucked in the second half of the season. So that was disappointing. He didn't play bad all year because he was straight up one of the best players in the league going into the All-Star game. But bad second half. Same goes for Bryce Elder. 2 All-Stars last year. I think they both had disappointing seasons considering the second half. So that's probably my 2 Braves that I could think of.
Okay. I'm really excited about this question.
Okay.
This is going to make you think. NFL, what is who is your favorite team to have they didn't win the Super Bowl that season, but you have to give the team in the season they didn't win the Super Bowl in. Like, you're just a team that you thought was good or a team that you liked.
I think I have a very easy option here.
What about ones that didn't go to the Super Bowl?
Okay, cool. That makes it a whole lot easier.
I have a very
actually, it doesn't.
It
doesn't, because a lot of those teams that I can think of, even non-Falcons teams, like that year when the Panthers went 15-1, lost to the Broncos in the Super Bowl. That was super fun to watch. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Man, I really can't think of one at the moment. Well, I guess
I think
now that team went to the Super Bowl a couple of times. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of one.
A shout for me would be the Chargers in the past forever years.
Yeah, I think I can't really pinpoint a particular year, but Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates years, some of those teams were really fun to watch.
Yeah, Tony Romo on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
never even played in a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, dude. Like Tony Romo, Des Bryant, DeMarco Murray. That trio.
Oh, the team that lost to the Packers
Yeah.
when Dez caught the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was what, like 2013 or 12 maybe?
Yeah.
Cowboys team. I
Trying,
know
dude.
a one for me definitely would be the 2014 NFC Championship Packers team that lost to
Yeah.
the Seahawks in that crazy comeback. That Packers team was crazy.
Yeah.
They were
Honestly, so
good.
was the Packers team that lost to the Falcons in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Yep. And so was the Steelers that lost a couple hours later to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. Also, the Jaguars with Blake Bortles.
Yeah, that one would have been interesting.
Yeah. Imagine they made the Super Bowl. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, and then who would they have played? The Rams? The Rams.
Yeah.
That was the Rams and Patriots Super Bowl, wasn't it?
No.
The one that was like 10-3.
I thought it was an earlier year than that. I could be wrong.
No, that would have been 2017.
Yeah, it was the 2017-2018 season. So, yeah.
Yep.
Damn. That's crazy.
That Steelers team, the AFC divisional, we had the bye week going in, and it was actually we had Ben Roethlisberger, Bell, and Brown all healthy at the same time in the playoffs, which was already rare.
Beat Bortles.
Couldn't beat Bortles. We were playing catch up at Heinz Field.
Yeah.
I heard that joke a lot. Nice. I heard that one a lot.
Yeah, you got beat by Blake Bortles, a young Jalen Ramsey, a young Leonard Fournette.
Wow. AJ Abouye was on that team too. He was crazy
team.
alongside.
Oh fuck, dude!
Calais
what was that
Campbell.
guy's name? The linebacker, Tevin Smith.
Yeah, Tevin Smith.
Jags? Yeah.
Miles Jack would have been on that team too.
Good fucking.
Yeah, they were crazy. And you know what's like? If you would have told me as a Steelers fan, if I didn't watch it, hey, the Steelers scored 42 points at home against the Jaguars, and Ben Roethlisberger broke every Steelers quarterback single game playoff record there is to break. But you guys lost by 3 points.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. That was a long question, but
it was.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the final question brings me back to soccer. What team that is qualified is a dark horse to make a deep run in the Champions League?
Oh, let me go back and look at my teams here. So
I can kind of give you a list here. So you got Bayern out of Group A, Arsenal and PSV out of Group B, Real Madrid in Group C, Real Sociedad and Inter in Group D, Atletico Madrid and Lazio in Group E, Dortmund in Group F, Man City Leipzig in Group G, and Barcelona in Group H.
A dark horse to make a run? I would say it's between 3.
Okay.
Or actually, maybe just 2. I'm going to go Lazio and Real Sociedad. They look really good this season in the Champions League especially. Yeah. And out of all the teams that have qualified, those would probably be my dark horses. Like, if honestly, depending on who goes through, if it's Copenhagen or Galatasaray, I would probably put one of them to be it too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge some of these because it's like Galatasaray had to play Bayern twice, and the same goes for Copenhagen. So it's like, yeah, their numbers are kind of skewed. And like the same goes for like Napoli. Napoli isn't even a team that's been, qualified yet. They could be great for all we know.
Yeah. I would have gone with Leipzig, but they've only beat Young Boys and Red Star.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a tough one to go with. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, of course,
really a dark horse.
Anybody out of Group F, honestly, could make a decent run. There's no telling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Wow.
That was a fantastic
first episode of Luke in 1080.
Yeah. It's nice.
Nice.
It is nice to have, I will say.
Sure, it's better to look at. You could actually tell you're talking to a human instead of like some
Yeah.
AI bot.
Yeah, a lot of times I'm talking to like a map on Super Mario 64.
Talking to like Steve in Minecraft.
Yeah. But
Oh man.
I know I was actually looking at my Spotify Wrapped for podcasters.
Oh,
Looking at all the info. We actually have more listeners on Spotify than I thought, and it got me thinking, why are those people not rating 5 stars on Spotify? It's crazy, right?
ridiculous.
Yeah, like it's a function that has been added in like the last year, and all you have to do is listen to 3 episodes, and like I know you've done that before. So then you just rate it 5 stars. It's so simple. But I also want to see that I show up and we show up. Everybody here at Second and Short shows up on your Spotify Wrapped. I don't personally use Spotify, so I couldn't give a flying fuck. But I do love
Same.
all of the listeners on Spotify. I love all the listeners on Apple. And I really love the listeners on YouTube who are watching me do this right now, looking at this Sherpa-lined flannel that I'm wearing, and Luke's beautiful camera with his them dogs is hell crew neck.
Yes.
So yeah, look, we appreciate everybody. And we're closing in on the end of a year, which is awesome. You know, obviously 1 year second short wrapping up, but just a year in general that has all been documented through Second and Short, which is super cool. So
It is.
keep in mind, obviously, rating 5 stars on Apple and Spotify, liking, subscribing, commenting on YouTube, turning on post notifications, whatever it may be. I'm going to have a little bit of extra free time. Just going to put this out there. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube. Things may be coming. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not promising. I've learned my lesson with promising making more content, because if I say it, I get 10 times busier. So not doing that. But
Yeah.
I would like to do more. Hopefully, I will have the time. If not, we'll make things work. But for now, like I said, do all the ratings and the liking and the subscribing. And, of course, follow us on all these wonderful social media platforms below us on the screen. Or visit the link tree. Wherever you're listening, you can find access to the link tree. And then follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Join the Reddit. So I want to turn questions time into we pull Reddit questions. That's what I want it to become.
That would be cool. Less work for us.
Yeah. But also I want to get like outside perspectives, because like a lot of times, like I'm sitting here writing these questions, I'm like, this is just like a regurgitated version of something I asked 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I want somebody else's perspective on these questions, and that would be the best place to get them. So just go onto the Reddit r/2ndand short, and post those questions, whatever you're wondering about. Honestly, maybe not sports. Don't ask me about something weird.
Yeah. Honestly.
Please don't ask weird things.
No, ask the weird things.
Don't get too weird.
No,
And don't include pictures. But go in there, ask some questions, and we'll start doing it. We got a few different little things coming that maybe take a little bit of time, but I'm excited to see.
Dude, we could start doing fan shout-outs.
Yeah.
Before the question. Like so-and-so.
For sure.
Look at that fan interaction.
Yeah. I would gladly shout them out unless their name is not appropriate. But this intro is dragging on way too long. So, guys, you already know
what the
deal is.
It's not even an intro.
Yeah, make sure you share everything. Share it everywhere. Luke is bothering me now, so we're gonna have to. We just have to sign off now. It just made him fold. He just folded. So, guys, we will catch you guys next week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the, what everybody else calls football. And, catch y'all later. Peace.